Hi, I'm Katie with Modern Textiles, and today I'm going to go over if there's such a thing as too much quilting density, and I'll be showing you examples as we go. All right, as a long-arm quilter, I always get questions about quilting density, if it makes your quilt stiff, if having too loose of density is not enough to hold the batting together, things like that nature. So I thought I'd maybe not sort this or have this video be the end-all be-all, but at least give you some insight onto what goes into play when it comes to quilting density. And really, it's in the eye of the beholder, right? Of if you like that density, that's what matters to you. So I'm going to start off with a quilt with a very minimal quilt density. This is probably the least amount I would suggest just based off of what batting recommendations are. So this is actually a quilt that was gifted to me from a friend. And she did hand stitching right in the ditch. And it's about a 4-inch gap, which is standard for most bats of distance. You may want to look into that. It might be different for poly, whatever you have. Just check the packaging and it'll tell you the minimum distance of quilting that you should put on for that type of batting. So this to me would be a very loose density quilting, 4 inches, and then she did come across and she just stitched around the ditch of every block in the strip quilt. So very simple. It gives, to be honest, it allows for the batting to have a bit more loft and a little bit more room to puff out. So I like it. Visual interest, not really there, but with all the fabrics, it was a great way to quilt without taking away from all the fun floral prints. So this is the strip quilt pattern that is free on my blog. I'll put it in the link in the show notes. I could not tell you where she got all these fabrics from or the designers or anything like that. So the pros of having very loose density, you get a bit more loft out of your batting, as well as the drape is really nice because there's not much that is causing any type of stiffness, if you will. Okay. So next up is a quilt from Running Stitch Quilts. I cannot for the life of me remember if this is her spring or her summer garden quilt, but it's a great fat quarter quilt. I used fabrics from Elizabeth Hartman, and this is a great example of a medium density quilting. So let's get to the back side here. That might show you a little bit better. It's going to be, to me, this is medium density. I would say anywhere in the ballpark of 1 inch to maybe a 1/2 inch quilting is probably about medium density, if you will. So you can see I've got this hedges design. It's not in the most... And then that way, it plays well, this design plays really well with this kind of garden type fabric that I chose, as well as the garden theme of her quilt pattern. Here you can see a little bit more on the white. And then that way it's going to be quite a bit more quilting. This is machine quilted versus hand stitch. Quite a bit more quilting for all of this to come together. But once again, when it comes to my long arm quilting clients, I like to make sure that you're getting your money's worth of your quilting, if that makes sense. I don't want to, if you want it scaled up, I'll blow up a design as big as you want it. But also I am aware that you're sending out and spending quite a bit of money to get your quilts quilted up by me or by another quilter. And so making sure you get your money's worth out of that quilting service. So that's just going to be, see if I can lift this up a little bit for quilting services. And that would be medium density to me. So if you go over to my Instagram, any of the quilts that you see there, especially my own personal quilts, my personal preference is medium density. I like the design to play into the overall effect of the quilt, but I don't want it overpowering it unless I have a load of negative space. Then I'm like, let's go crazy on the quilting density. So there's a medium for you. And then this is what I would consider, the next one I'm going to show you is going to be what I consider quilting the life out of something. So this is going to be just a bag panel that I quilted using my dotted crosshatch design. And just each of these, I'll just raise this up here. The squares are about 1 inch on each arm or on each dimension of the square. So that is going to be heavily quilted. And you can tell, even though I have soft and stable in here, which has got, essentially it's a foam interfacing, it still has quite a bit of drape to it. I do have to say, if you're choosing a very thin batting, you're using a cotton backing, and your quilt top is a cotton quilt top, more than likely you may have a little bit of stiffness initially from the long arm quilter, but the more you use it, the more you wash it, it gets broken in. It still has a beautiful drape. The other thing is, if you're using, this is from my experience as a long arm quilter, seeing hundreds, if not thousands of quilts come through my frame. I really don't keep track. I maybe should. The things I've noticed, if you use minky backing, if you even quilt the life out of that, it's still going to have a lot of drape because of the heaviness of that minky, as well as you pair into having that batting in the middle. You could quilt very tightly like this, and it's still going to have that drape because the minky forces it to have that drape. I've quilted regular quilts, even for myself, that off the frame, yeah, it might feel a little stiff, but once again, using that quilt or washing it is going to kind of loosen up the tendency. It's going to kind of give a little bit more poof to the quilt itself and break down, especially after use and use, not break down the integrity of the quilt, but it's just going to loosen it up enough and make it a little bit more free flowing. And that way it's going to be lovely to use year round. So if you're ever wondering if there's any way to quilt too much of your quilts, I would say that's impossible. It really just depends on the material you're using and if you're going to use it regularly. If you're going to hang that quilt up on the wall, never wash it, never use it, and it's quilted to the max, then more than likely it's going to have a little bit more of a stiffness to it. But if you are using it, loving it, washing it on the regular, drying it, hang drying it, whatever it may be, you're going to notice that that is going to get a lot more flexible over time, even after maybe the first or second wash. I have friends that love heavy, dense quilting, and once I see those quilts in person again, I'm like, this is so different than how it was when it left my studio. So just take that into mind, that the more you love your quilts, the more they're going to get broken in and they're going to feel great. They're going to have that drape. And especially if you pair it with a minky backing, another batting option, it's going to be just a fabulous quilt no matter how much you dense it or how loosely you dense it. It's just how quickly do you want that feeling of it being broken in is going to be by how quickly or how loose and dense you quilt it is going to really play into that factor as well. All right, and then there are going to be times when I recommend a higher density quilting. So if you've got any type of linen quilts, which I've done a video on that before, I recommend doing a higher density quilting just to ensure that those linen seams, because linens are a lot looser weave, that they are going to be secured in place. Hopefully you use a wider seam allowance, but if you didn't, getting a tighter quilting or a denser quilting on your quilt is definitely going to help keep those seams in place long term, as well as if maybe this is your first or second quilt and your seams maybe aren't the perfect seam allowance, or if you already notice that you're having some seams starting to show a little bit and they're poppy, maybe your tension was a little bit off, I would definitely recommend doing some sort of more dense quilting just to ensure and secure that quilt into place, especially if you don't have the time or the care to go back and fix those seams. Because sometimes, you know, trying to fix seams as a beginner quilter or a sewist, it's not the easiest. So sometimes it's just daunting and you want to get that achievement of getting your first quilt done. How it is, send it off to a quilter, get it densely quilted, make sure it's just in that sandwich, nice and tight, can't move anywhere, and then you can move on to your next quilt and work on those seam allowances and tension issues. In the next video, we'll go over if it's worth it to take a sewing or quilting class.